Now, Barnett, little bastard, little whiny ass that was sitting in Pelosi's chair, he's remained behind bars pending his trial since the chief U.S. District Judge, one Burl Howell, ruled that the whiny ass's detention was warranted given the prosecution's argument in this that he's a flight risk. And the whiny ass Barnett told federal agents on January 8th that after the insurrection, he drove back to Arkansas. He said after he was arrested that on January 8th, he drove back to Arkansas, turned off his phone location services, used only cash, and kept his face covered. What's the matter, little whiny ass? I thought you were so proud. You sure were proud when you were sitting in Pelosi's desk with your goddamn clodhopper feet up on her desk, right? Huh? What's the matter? You went back to Arkansas hiding like the little prick that you are? Oh, you little asshole, you. You were so brave, but now you're not. The prosecutors wrote in a memo in favor of keeping this dumb shit in detention. Quote, he also commented that the agents may not find much at his house because he's a smart man. End quote. And that comes from the fact that this little shit told agents he had recently removed his guns from his house before it was searched. Well, goddamn, Barnett, you are one smart cucumber, aren't you? Well, our proud boy or whatever the hell you are, right? I removed my guns, so fuck you. See, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, this shit would be beyond, way beyond, miles beyond hysterically funny. Except people died, and this was an attack not only on the Capitol, but the Constitution, engineered by this psychopathic son of a bitch, Donald Trump, who then sat on his mound of cheeseburgers, laughing his ass off, as it appeared that the capital of the United States was going to fall into the hands of a bunch of psychopaths. I mean, this whole thing just... like I've said many times, it cracks me up, except for the fact that these people are maniacs and they're loose in a society where there are still a few of us who are sane. Now, back to this dumb shit Richard Barnett, famously photographed sitting with his feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk during the riot. And in those photos, a stun gun is clipped to his waist. Yeah, I got me a stun gun. Records identified by prosecutors in this indictment and incarceration of this son of a bitch indicate that our little coward boy here bought a 950,000 volt stun gun walking stick at a Bass Pro Shop in Arkansas 5 days before he went to D.C. to be a little riot boy. I'm going to be a riot boy. As long as I'm in a great big crowd, I'm really cool. If I get alone, I'm going to cry and whine and piss my pants and tell the judge, not fair, not fair. 950,000 volt stun gun? I mean, that would bring down a fucking charging rhino, wouldn't it? I mean, what do I know from stun guns? Anyway, surveillance video and photos and media interviews of this little shit in Pelosi's office and his boasts later that I broke in and I took mail from her office. And in an interview, he showed off that envelope with Pelosi's signature. But now that he was caught, even though he went back to Arkansas like a little rat, traveling at night and keeping his head down, wearing a mask. Yeah. Then he insisted, well, I didn't steal the mail. He told a reporter that he left a quarter and a note with an expletive. That expletive was, fuck you, Nancy. And his nickname, his nickname is, right? Big O. Big O. Oh, help me. Help me, God. Even though you're fake, help me. Big O. So he left a quarter and a note that said, fuck you, Nancy, and signed Big O on her desk. But according to a video that the FBI obtained, he said, I did not steal anything. I bled on her desk because they were macing me and I couldn't fucking see. So I figured I am in her office. I got blood on her office. I got blood on her office. End quote. Oh, Big O. Big O. Now, a grand jury indicted this piece of shit back in January on 7 counts, including disorderly conduct, obstruction of an official proceeding, theft of government property. I hope they get to the point where they indict him on treason and take his whiny ass out behind the courthouse and shoot him. I mean, it's treason. It's trying to overthrow the government of the United States. I mean, at least take his citizenship away from him. Send him to the area I've been talking about, the taiga in Siberia. The Russian fascists would love to have him. So would the wolves in the taiga. Huh? Idiot. Now, here's another one. The FBI said yesterday that it had arrested a political appointee of the Orange Bastard on charges that he, too, was involved in storming the U.S. Capitol on January 6th and assaulting an officer with a weapon. So this is the first of probably many arrests, some of which I hope are members of Congress, the Christian fascists in Congress. It's the first arrest of a Trump administration official in connection with the insurrection. He's probably Antifa, right? Yeah, okay. His name is Federico Guillermo Klein. There's a name for you. Federico Guillermo Klein. Okay, he's a former State Department official, and he was expected to appear in court today. I don't know how that court hearing proceeded, or even if it did, but I will let you know when I do find out. Now, the court papers obtained by the Washington Post have all the details about this dumb shit's conduct throughout the siege of the Capitol. The papers trace his apparent movements and actions from using a police shield to try to pry a door open. I wonder if he assaulted an officer, since he's a cowardly little fuck, just like the guy I was just talking about. He probably hit the cop from behind, took his shield, tried to pry a door open. In addition, he called for reinforcements from the crowd. In addition, he lost his red maggot hat. He went looking for it amid the chaos, and then he grabbed another maggot hat that was on the ground, but it turned out to be the wrong one. Ooh, cooties, cooties. And he threw it back in the crowd. This is all on video. Jesus Christ. So Guillermo Klein's arrest, according to the Post, is now the most direct link yet between the Orange Bastards administration and the rioters. In spite of all these attempts by the Christian fascists who were at the CPAC circle jerk and the ones who infest the Fox sewer and all this scum, even though they try to make it appear that, well, no, this wasn't riot. This is not. There's no link. Well, here's the first one. And according to the Post, a great number of the 300 plus people who have been charged in connection have described themselves as Trump supporters, while some have ties to these groups of cowardly fucks like the Proud Boys. Oh, and by the way, Canada just recently designated the Proud Boys a terrorist group. And the Oath Keepers, those filthy son of a bitches who say they're keeping an oath they took to protect and defend the Constitution, while at the same time they are attacking the Constitution. A perfect example, there could not be a better one, of what happens to your fucking brain with doublethink when you become a Christian fascist. You are no longer able to think spatially or linearly. Your mind has been dissolved into a mass of horseshit where you can say, well, I'm an oath keeper, but I violate any fucking oath put in front of me. But I'm an oath keeper. But I violate the oaths, but I'm an oath keeper. Over and over, endlessly. Like a stuck recording, over and over. Now, back to Guillermo Klein. Guy's name cracks me up, man. Federico Guillermo Klein. If Klein is his family name, I wonder if his parents were just, if they were just hooting on him or something. Let's name our little boy Federico Guillermo. It cracks me up. It really does. Oh, well. He's also a former Trump campaign employee. Of course. Oh, by the way, the Washington Post tracked this piece of shit down and asked for a comment and no answer. Really? Oh, there's a surprise. And a State Department spokesman said Guillermo served as a political appointee in the department from 2017 until his resignation. I think he resigned on January 19th, the day before Biden was sworn in. A spokesman for the State Department, which, by the way, under Trump was run by a lard-ass, cowardly piece of shit named Mike Pompeo. Yeah, what happened to him? He's laying low, isn't he? Anyway, a spokesman for the State Department, the new State Department, said, quote, "This is being investigated by FBI, and they are the appropriate agency to answer questions specific to the charges," end quote. Now, here's the scary part about this piece of shit, Guillermo. He had a top secret security clearance that was renewed in 2019. That's according to the FBI. And a profile on the platform LinkedIn that the FBI identified as Klein's profile also lists top secret security clearance and shows that Klein has been politically active in the Republican Party since at least 2008. And before joining the State Department in 2017, Guillermo worked for the Trump campaign, which paid him $15,000, a week, a month, a year? Doesn't say. Now, continuing with Guillermo here, because I'm hoping I'm going to have more of these scum suckers to report to you about as they're arrested and their filthy little secret lives are revealed to everybody. Well, Guillermo was still employed at the State Department as a staff assistant on the day that he joined a mob in a tunnel leading into the U.S. Capitol. Now, what were they doing in the tunnel? They were looking for people to kill. They were looking for people to kill. Aren't these people, really, as each one of these murderous insurgents is identified, and some of their phony little, I'm a cowboy, I'm a liberator, as their phony little lives are peeled back, and you see the white worm underneath all of this stuff. Isn't it comical? It is. Acknowledging, as I think I have, I'll do it again, the awfulness of what they did. Somebody told me, and I don't know if I believe this, but somebody told me that in the Nazi death camps, there was still an occasional little burst of humor that quickly evaporated. But I guess humor is about the last refuge of people who are trying desperately to hold on. I don't feel like I'm trying desperately to hold on when I see this broad, almost vaudevillian humor, burlesque house humor, kind of Benny Hill English humor, because it's there with these individual cowardly little shits who were so brave and so arrogant and so snotty and so, hey, quick, let's photograph these papers. What are they? Oh, I don't know, but let's photograph them. There might be something in here. Well, hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.